Hey everybody, Bama Cooley here. Today we're at Barber Motorsports Park. I'm with Corsa Crew, Arrive and Drive Services. I'm going to show you what they do. They rent cars. You get to come to these events, you get to drive. I'm going to be hanging out with them. I'll be showing you all the cars that they have. We'll be going over some of the cars, some of the details, and we'll be getting in the car and driving around. So join me. It's going to be a great day, and I can't wait to show y'all what a blast we're going to have. All right, everybody, we just went through the first step of the process. We had to register, we went through the driver's meeting. They made sure that, you know, me being a novice, even though I think I'm better than a novice, but we'll prove that later. I am paired with an instructor, so we paired up with the instructor. We went through the track layout and everything and what the proper, I guess the proper rules are and the etiquette is as far as letting people pass and things like that. It's a little bit to remember, but that's why the instructor's there, and hopefully by the time this is done, I will be on my way to the advanced. All right, let's go check it out.
Out for your first session, right, ever on a track day. What are your initial thoughts?
It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. You're thinking so fast going in, you're like, okay, I need to hang this out here, and then I got to cut across here, and then we're going to go back over here. And it's a lot of information to digest. And then you look in the rearview mirror, and you got like 6 cars behind you.
Right.
And you're like,
yeah.
You know, you're constantly waving them by, right? I have a better appreciation for people that can, do that for extended
I think the thing that YouTube needs to take away from this, it's one thing to see racing on TV or on your computer or your phone, but if you've never been out here on the track to experience the G-forces and the overwhelming sensation and pressure of cars right behind you, you're flying down, you're 100 and something miles an hour. There's a corner right here, but also a hill, and you know, you've got to brake, turn in, and up on you quick. I mean, your brain can, overthink it.
You know, so when I review cars, sometimes I'll try to go down some pretty curvy roads that I'm familiar with, that I can go into pretty fast, or I'll do a draggy with a 0 to 60 or something.
Right.
Nothing like that. Like, I mean, and the instructor's like, all right, I want to feel the brake. Make sure I feel the brake on this. You hit the brake, then you get about halfway through, and he's like, okay, gas, and you're like, and then you're just like, you're just going back and forth, right? Like, and so a couple of trouble spots I had. The biggest one was turn 16.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
And
right
I was missing the line every time on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and I was like, damn it.
That's a tough one because it's a long right-hand turn down a very steep hill, and it just keeps going. You're like, where do I need to be here? Then all of a sudden it gets super sharp. Yeah. And then you've got to be over here, and then ready for the straightaway. So that's what we call a technical turn in road racing. I mean, it's just where do you need to be, at what speed, and where do you at some point you actually have to turn straight, brake, and then turn back in.
Right.
And he may not have said that, but that's an advanced part of it.
What you're trying to do is go out wide and make them wait. You understand what I mean by that?
had more caffeine than he gave me. I was like, by the time me and him were going through that, I was like, I was getting a little nauseous, so I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, whoa, like all the G-forces.
Yeah, the passenger seat is a totally different world. That's another thing you can't see or realize when you're watching this on video. When you're in the passenger seat, you're not holding on to the steering wheel, you're not in control of the car. So it's a totally different feeling versus actually driving it, you know, and some people actually have a hard time instructing if they can't be in the passenger seat. So kudos to all the instructors out there for getting in the right seat and just being confident and saying, brake, turn left, turn right, because boy, they're withstanding it for you.
No, I was like getting nauseous in there on that last turn. I was like, hey, just go ahead and take it in. I need some water.
Yeah,
like, I want to be able to get my system to settle down before the next session.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I understand totally. It's just a different world in the passenger seat, but you get a great perspective. You can see what he's doing. You feel what the car is going to do when it goes past the point you were comfortable with, right? Maybe it's starting to slide. Maybe you're putting the brakes into ABS for quite a distance and you're like, oh, okay, the car's actually going to be okay. And when I throw it into this corner, it might rotate a little, but it's controllable and it's a big learning curve. But this is one of the most rewarding things you could ever do. If you're a really smart person and you need a challenge, come out here.
It's not just about being smart, it's about being able to process it quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially on a track or a road that you've never been on before. And so you're looking and you're seeing this come up and you're like, well, what's behind this? You know, and you go up here and then, you know, and if you've ever had somebody look over your shoulder while you're working and you start screwing up, that's kind of like what the instructor is.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
He's in the microphone and he's like, sharp, 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 brake here, okay, gas, and you're just like,
That's funny. I've had an instructor before years ago. We were at the same track, first time ever at Barber. We're coming around turn 16, and this instructor is a professional race car driver from the 80s, and he knows this track really well. His name's Bob Towery, and he's 74 years old, instructing me. You know what he said? He goes, your line is terrible, and his in front of us is even worse. And I was like, well, I don't feel so bad then.
Well,
but yeah.
I made the mistake. I told him, I was like, because, you know, the cars were passing me, obviously. I was like, look, on a couple of them, I was like, I'm just going to follow their line. He's like, well, you don't necessarily want to do that either.
Yeah. If you're in the upper groups, if you're in intermediate, or if you're in advanced, I mean, some of their lines are going to be very good, but it also depends on what kind of car you're driving and your driving style. Everybody kind of has a different thing. Once you come out here a few more times, you'll develop your own like comfort level in certain points of the track, and it may be different than other people's. But you know, everybody can say two people can do the same lap time, but he was over here, you're over here, you braked here, he braked there.
Well, it's not all bad. There were several spots that each time I was going through, he's like, you do that section really well.
Right.
So it's got, you know, it's kind of like golf. There's a couple of holes you get better than others. It's just feel like you're in a straight edge show. You know?
Right. No, you're exactly right. Yeah. And you know, at our back at our shop, we're installing our new driving simulator, and it's set up for Barber. It has the VR headset, and when I haven't driven in a while, I hop on that thing. And you know, once you know the line of the track, you can get on that driving simulator and just do 100 laps over the next couple of weeks. When you come back out here, it's so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, for me, so that's something you could do later on. But yeah, today so we're talking right after your first session ever on a racetrack. So
it's definitely a new experience. It's not like drag racing. It's not like definitely not like hooking up for 0 to 60. Or
no.
Definitely not like street racing. You might think you got curvy roads. You might think you're doing something on a public road, but no, this is a whole different animal.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, that Mini Cooper flat goes.
Yeah, I told you.
At 300 horsepower, 330 pound-feet of torque, and whatever other mods y'all did to make it lighter.
Yeah, and it's got brakes too, so it can stop.
It didn't even come with the back seat, did it?
No,
The Mini Cooper took the back seat out of it.
Yeah, so it's the homologated car, you know, that they made for their racing series, I guess. And in fact, everything that's in that car right now is bone stock except the brake pads and the fluid. Everything is stock on it. That's just how good it is from the factory.
You also do the performance aspect for the cars as well at the shop too.
That's right, yeah. We build the cars from stock to whatever you want, performance level for the track, drag racing, drifting, kind of do it all. Yeah.
So do you do the turbo installs, you do tuning, you do stuff like that?
Right now we're not set up for in-house tuning, but we do any installs, turbos, superchargers. We can do nitrous kits, methanol, E85, a lot of the fuel systems people want to do depending on the application, but suspension, aero, safety, wheels, tires, brakes, I mean, you name it, we can do it.
Pretty much a one-stop shop.
That's right. You just have to tell us what are your goals, what's the car, and then we'll help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say, here's my car, here's a check, keep it for 3 weeks and do what you gotta do to it.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah, so we try to just, the goal is for people to unleash their smiles per gallon. It can be drag racing, road racing, track day, drift, autocross, or if you just have a fun street car you want to go, you know, have fun in, you know, it doesn't matter the application, you just tell us, yeah.
If you ever catch yourselves, like I always say in my videos, if you ever catch yourselves in the back roads of Tijuana,
yeah,
and you want to see how fast you can go, and there's no ferraris around.
Yeah. It's we have fun doing it. Everybody that works at Corsa Crew is at least a car enthusiast, if not been on a race team or been a fabricator or something to do with racing, drag racing, whatever it may be. I mean, so we all are enthusiasts to start with, so we love what we do.